Hey guys, how's it going? I just feel like rambling and talking about some of the things I believe and some of the things that have been on my mind for a bit, and just to kind of clear my cache or my memory, my RAM. So currently, I'm kind of in a purgatory of the spirit. The weather's changing, and there's more sunny days, um, which is great. I'm taking the B vitamins, and they have really helped, but I'm waiting to see if that's like a new reality. Um, the reality I'm used to is just depression, no energy. And so having this new energy is great, but I'm not used to feeling good. So I'm wondering if, you know, suddenly it'll happen that the depression just kicks in and kicks my ass out of nowhere, and I'll be left, you know, I don't like surprises like that. So I'm kind of just waiting, seeing what happens. Um, so a little bit about me. I'm a Sagittarius. We like to travel. Um, the In the Chinese zodiac, I'm a monkey. If you're doing the primal astrology, which I'm a big fan of, I'm what's called a road runner, which is pretty cool. Basically means I like to travel. I'm a free thinker. I'm a wanderer, a nomad. Peer pressure doesn't really affect me, and I stand apart from the crowd. I stand for what I believe in and keeping it real and honest. Um, I don't really subscribe to the idea of nihilistic consumerism, where we all just exist to buy the next thing that'll make us happy. I believe in the precepts of unconventional life. Okay, maybe not this one necessarily, but something outside the norm. I'm not interested in working all my days, nor am I content with just having a subpar existence, eking out my days until I die. I'm a minimalist. I don't need very much to get by, but the things I do need are important for my sanity. Things like smokes. There's this orange drink mix that I like to add to my water. I don't like water by itself necessarily. I like milk chocolate. And I like having a decent smartphone that I can, do videos. I can play games. I can listen to audio. I can get on the internet now and again. As long as my life doesn't get subsumed by mediocrity of spirit, I can be happy with just those things. Um, I'm what you call a progressive Christian. Um, I believe in the transformative power and love of God. All the rest to me is just minutia. I believe in doing the right thing versus believing the right thing. Um, and I believe in radical inclusivism. I believe that heaven and hell is something we experience in this life and not some like ever after place. There's a saying, all it takes for evil to succeed in this world is for a good man to do nothing. And I've always kind of lived by that, to do something, whatever it may be, even if it means bringing harm to myself. I think about the soul a lot. What is the soul? I mean, do we have one? If so, what is the afterlife? It's common for us in this day and age with TV and sci-fi to think that the soul is this like transparent image, this opaque image, or of our bodies, an energy that's in the body, maybe on a different vibration or some such. But is that a modern day vision of the soul compared to how it's referenced in the Bible? From what I read in the Bible, it uses the Hebrew word nepesh, which translates more accurately to a living body, right? Not like some vibration, right? Um, and so I have some questions like, what is the soul? Is it conscious? Does consciousness generate the soul? Um, is the soul a result uh, of art, beauty, empathy? Is it congruent with the feeling of emotion or nobility? Does the soul have intellect? Uh, like when the body dies, the brain dies, right? So does that intellect transform with the soul, or like, is it like a hitchhiker? Does it go into this soulful realm where we can think and add and whatever. Soulful equals empathy and pain. Is the aura a visual manifestation of the soul? Are we just more than the sum of our parts? What is the afterlife if we don't have a soul, right? Is it just going into the ground and that's it? We're not born a blank slate. I get this a lot, like this idea that we're all born this blank slate, and from there we make these changes based on what we encounter. Like we're all the same, but I don't believe that's true at all. I believe that, we start out with all this baggage and crap from our genetic makeup that makes us limited. I've met people that do seem to have unblemished souls or spirits and are positive and happy and wonderful, and that must be great for them. But for me, it's like, with the genetic makeup, I feel like there's a lot of tainted, blemished people out there, and they don't really get past that, because it's, like with depression for me, yeah, I can take vitamins, but I'm still experiencing depression at times. It's not as bad, and so that's great. But maybe next year when the weather comes back, maybe that'll affect me, like the seasonal affective disorder. So I don't know. Anyway, let's talk about something else. So it's worth noting that about half the people that you're going to meet have some kind of genetic issue or trauma-based issue. And here are just a few ratios. So 2 out of every 50 people that you're going to meet have ASPD, antisocial personality disorder, i.e. sociopaths, psychopaths, whatever. Depression, 2 out of 50, borderline personality disorder, 1 of 50, narcissist personality disorder, 2 of 50, bipolar, 1 of 50, ADHD, 5 of 50, anxiety issues, 2 of 50, or substance abuse, 8 of 50. So based on those numbers, 23 of 50 people that you're going to meet have some issues. I have a special interest in sociopaths. I had some encounters with some sociopaths in the past. Didn't really end up that well. I got out of that situation, but in my view, the sociopaths are like people without soul. They don't have any compassion. They don't, do they have feelings? Potentially, sure. If you count, hate or frustration as a feeling, but they don't have compassionate feelings. Like they don't have like love, compassion, empathy. And so I've actually done, basically 2 out of every 50, and that's on a conservative deal. That's based on people who have sought treatment and things like that. So those numbers are deflated a little bit, I feel. But I always try to keep alert to people that have that. I wouldn't say they're demons or anything, but they're definitely, in my view, not really human. They don't have that human compassion. They can be scary. Some traits of them. They have like this odor about them. It's not unpleasant, but it's like it's kind of like what was it in Twilight? Like vampires. In that they have things that attract, things that I don't know, make them dangerous. They have an odor and aroma about them of sorts, even when freshly bathed, and it's odd. They don't really, like, in a conversation, they let you pigeonhole them into like what you feel, but what they actually say is not like, if you listen just to their words and their actions, you can kind of figure out more about them than if you oh, so you're like this, and you create your own like paradigm, your own archetype for them, but that's not really them. They have their eyes. they're like bright. They have a bright energy to them, but they're kind of a flat look. Like they're not really. As far as when you're talking to them, they don't get things like vibe or feeling. They don't have that. They just don't have an understanding of that. When you say the word vibe, um, they just don't get it. And their musical tastes are more instrumental. You know, any song that has any kind of depth of feeling, they're not going to be into. Uh, and like for me, like I'm really sensitive to feelings and emotions. Um, it's like you know how like sometimes you'll be in a house and it'll be an empty house and you'll just feel that emptiness, right? But then out of the next room could come one of these sociopaths because they don't exude any kind of emotion. They're not. You're not feeling any feeling because there's not any. Anyway, so I know that the Mandela effect has been explained as this collective false memory, right? But I don't believe in that. I believe in alternate realities, and some of us travel through these depending on our vibration. I personally experienced this. Maybe not the traveling part, but things changing in our reality that don't make sense. Uh, but the reason I haven't like reached out to people and be like, this is what I've seen happen, is because of an incident I had in 2015. 2015, I was walking across the country. I was in Texas, and I encountered a puma, mountain lion, cougar, catamount, whatever you want to call it. I encountered one. I escaped to live another day, but like after that, people kept on saying, that couldn't be a cougar. They don't exist in Texas, or they don't exist in East Texas, right? Maybe it was a lynx. Maybe it was a bobcat. Maybe it was a big cat. You must be mistaken. So if people don't believe that, they don't believe that I encountered a cougar, they're certainly not going to believe my experiences with changing reality, right? So I sit here in my homeless little tent, right? And I'm sort of outside of normal society. And invisible in a lot of ways. I mean, I go out of my way to kind of blend in, but others kind of stop seeing you, and they act differently when, it's like the observer effect. They act differently when they think you're watching or not, But I see things differently. I see patterns, which is just weird. Maybe it's that consumer nihilism and escaping reality kind of thing. But people are working like this 40-hour work week. They're spending money to buy happiness. Sometimes it's easy to think that I'm on the Truman Show and people start looking like NPCs in a game, like non-player characters or actors, just running around on their preset path. I mean, it doesn't make these people fake, but there is this perpetrated unreality to them. But at the same time, it doesn't make me the main character of the story. I mean, who would watch that? How boring. Um, but sometimes I feel like I'm in the Hunger Games too. And every now and again, somebody will send me a drone or like a parachute with a needed item or $5 here and there, and it kind of makes my life a little bit better for that time. I don't know. I think about this stuff a lot, right? I play games, or I have in the past played games like MMORPGs. I know these are kind of a selective kind of reality, like WoW, World of Warcraft. In these games, I think about the observer effect, right? There are waves until it's observed, and then there are particles, right? It's kind of the same way like games are, right? Like everybody exists in like this bubble of reality. To save on processing power, something you might see something up in the distance but not see it clearly, because it's outside of that bubble and nothing changes. Like you don't see people walking on a mountain or anything, or other groups playing in the game because they're so far away. And it makes you think like maybe anything outside of my current reality is a static reality. Like, it's not moving until I get there. And that kind of falls in line with the observer effect, right? Kind of freaky. It makes me wonder, like, I've always wondered, like, I've never met anybody from, I don't know, let's name a place. Mongolia. I've never met anybody from Mongolia. Does that place actually exist? You say, yes, Tom, that does exist, but I've never met anybody from there. I don't know. I mean, does it exist? Thinking outside of yourself, or does it exist in sort of a static sort of realm where things are not moving? The processor power is not needed until you come into reality for it. But, you know, at the same time, that's kind of a narcissistic way of viewing things, but it's still stuff that, like, turns around in my head, you know? So where does that leave me? You know, I guess I'm just trying to do right for myself and others without judgment. You know, there's that saying that's going around, be kind, which I like. It's a good saying, but also it should be in parentheses, don't be a dick. Like, be kind, in parentheses, don't be a dick, because, you know, you don't have to be kind to me, just don't be a dick. You know, you can ignore me, but just don't be like, you know, there's no need for you to post like rude comments on my, you know, like, homeless people all suck and they're all addicts. And like, why? How does that help anybody? I mean, I'm not asking you to say nice things about me, but just don't be a dick. You know, I don't need this life to be perfect, nor do I need it to mean anything to anyone else. I just want to survive, exist until the next adventure, you know? I want to love and be loved. I want to live gently and boldly. I want sustenance and serenity. And in the lives of the people that I meet, I want their lives to be better because of it. That was my ramblings for this day in, March 2024. I hope your road's a good one, and if you're homeless, I hope it doesn't suck for you. Hobo Yeti, signing off.